Over 6,664 kilometers of the road network is newly paved, and similar initiatives extended to upgrades as per the Integrated Transport Infrastructure and Services and the National Development Plan, exhibiting essence of the services sector, with construction, for instance, contributing 86.25 billion in the 2022-23 URA half-year performance report. As the Institute of Professional Engineers roots for the Technology and Exhibition Convention, there is faith that with the 41.8% contribution of the services sector to gross domestic product and 21.4% employment coverage, services need to be in sync with sectors such as manufacturing, finance, and agriculture, for example.
How can Uganda tap into the engineering opportunities or the capacity of its engineering professionals to bring more value to the bigger ecosystem of the African Continental Free Trade Area? We have lined up that theme, and it is built on a number of sub-themes in the area of agro-processing, in the area of manufacturing, in the area of industrialization, in the area of infrastructure, in the area of sustainability. And the idea is, if these physical borders collapse not in the literal sense, but if the physical borders are brought down, the question we are trying to answer is, what will Uganda bring into this market?
While Africa anticipates continental trade through the free trade area, besides tariff barriers, infrastructure remains a critical challenge despite efforts primarily vested in the Trans-African highways and currently in major transnational projects such as the SGR. As private sector cites inefficiencies, the engineering bloc banks on the Tech and Innovation Forum to portray their potential in economic transformation.
We run a risk, by the way, of having certain infrastructures that are not used effectively, simply because the strategy we used was not appropriate to the structure, economic structure we have. So I think we just need to look into critically and see whether the infrastructure developments we are making are commensurate to the economic structure we have.
You look at the budgeting system, when you look at the policy framework, and how is it feeding into the bigger picture of the African continent, and where does Uganda fit in? What can be our role as engineers when we are given opportunities to work in some of these projects? So these are some of the conversations when you look at some of the sub-themes. We have, for instance, multilateral infrastructure. These are some of the conversations which are going to be taking place in some of these themes.
Engineer Frederick Tusubira expounds on the need for local engineers to embrace quality assurance, a major driver in service delivery. The cause is further pronounced by the Engineers Registration Board, whose commitment towards reliable services to society discredits inefficiencies in civil works.
We cannot invest in high-quality roads, then the African Continental Free Trade Area is not going to benefit us. As my colleague, the President, has said, having a corridor going through northern Uganda when people locally cannot benefit does not benefit at all. It actually becomes a cost to the country. So these are some of the things we have to focus. It must be a holistic approach right from the grassroots and say, how do we create the national infrastructure environment to ensure that when these things eventually get established, the Ugandans are going to benefit like anybody else around Africa.
Only unfortunate that when it comes to constructions or constructions in roads, maybe electrical lines, if there is any problem, the first person to be blamed is the engineer. But there are other things. Have you given them enough money to do the work? Because like right now, the economy is already challenged. Then the issue of the wetlands, have we done the right processes? And that's where we are asking, use the professional people, use the professional engineers, use the professional architects, so that what you're doing, all the feasibility studies are done correctly.
From the development plans, infrastructure upheaval has been fronted as roads, aviation, and marine infrastructure, plus the rail network remain pertinent to trade growth within and outside the East African region. Ivan Tibenkana, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.